and welcome to day one of the Balance Challenge. Today we'll be focusing a lot on planks and working towards or sort of peak pose that will be incorporated in our vinyasa flow at the end of this 2-week challenge, and that is a sort of bird dog plank. So this is a hybrid where the bird part's pretty normal, but then instead of going into a dog and curling, we're actually extending one arm, one leg out in a plank. So really challenging our balance there. So in order to condition this specific pose, we'll be doing 4 prep poses. The first one is going to be forearm saw planks. So if you're not familiar with these, it's really just a forearm plank, and then we're shifting our weight back and forth from our toes in kind of a pointed toe position into a flexed toe, shifting our weight forward and back. So really getting our core muscles engaged to help us stabilize and balance in our plank. The next pose is going to be in a plank, and then we're going to bring our knee up to our elbow and then drop it down to the floor and back up to our elbow. So again, really engaging our core and strengthening all of our stabilizing muscles to help us maintain a balance in a plank. Next, we have, I like to call them plank superwomans. So we'll be in plank and then just alternating, lifting one arm forward at a time. Pretty straightforward. The next pose is going to be hollow body. So again, this whole first day is about working our core muscles, finding balance in our plank postures, and then building up the muscle in our cylindrical core. So that will help us in not only holding our balancing standing poses, but transition through from one balancing pose to the next. And last but not least, we'll work on that kind of bird dog plank. So let's get started. We're gonna come right into forearm plank. So elbows are gonna come right directly underneath our shoulders. Right leg steps back and left leg steps back. Doesn't really matter so much here if your feet are together or apart, whichever you like. If your feet are a little bit further apart, that'll make the balancing a little bit easier. And now we're just going to shift forward onto our toes, look just in front of our hands, and then shift back into more of a flexed foot position. So again, core is stabilized, pulling your mula bandha in, your belly button pulling towards your spine to really stabilize the front of your core as well as the back and protecting the lower lumbar spine. So we're gonna come into forearm plank and we're gonna do that shift 10 times. So shift forward for 10 and back, forward for 9 and back, forward for 8 and back, forward for 7 and back. Make sure you're pulling your elbows in, not letting them floor out. Forward 6, forward 5, forward 4, forward 3, forward 2, and last, forward 1, and bring your knees down. Come into hero's pose, shake out your arms a little bit, and get a little bit of reprieve before we move into the next pose. So take a nice deep inhale here, and open your mouth side out. And let's move on. So we'll come into a normal plank pose. So wrists are stacked directly underneath our shoulders, maybe even a little bit forward. For this one, again, it doesn't necessarily matter. Actually, this one it does matter. Bring your feet closer together, maybe even touching. And then lift your right leg up and bring it forward to touch your elbow. Now 5 of these, because these are really hard. Drop your knee to the floor, bring it back up to your elbow. 4 more. Down, up to your elbow. 3, down, knee to elbow. 2, down, knee to elbow. Last one, down to the floor and up, knee to elbow. Step back to plank and come onto your knees for a quick break before we do the same thing on the other side. So take a deep breath in here and open your mouth, sigh it out. Let's get into the other side. Come into your plank, set up. Left leg comes up, knee to elbow, and then drop it down and back up to your elbow. Knee to the floor, up to the elbow, 4. Knee to the floor, up to the elbow, 3. Knee to the floor, up to the elbow, 2. Last one, knee to the floor, up to the elbow, step back into plank, knees come down. Whew. Are you sweating yet? All right, so we're about halfway through, just 3 more poses. And the next one is a little bit easier, maybe. So these are our plank. Superwomans will be reaching alternate hands forward. So when you're ready, come back into plank. And for this one, you will want to bring your feet either hip width distance or maybe even further out to your mat. That'll help in your balance as we're shifting from one side to the other. During this specific pose, we really, and really all of these plank poses, we really want to focus on as little movement as possible in the hips and in the core. So come into plank, feet a little bit wide. Inhale here, and to exhale, right arm reaches forward. Inhale and plank, left arm reaches forward. Inhale, we'll do 10 of these, so 9 more on each side. Right hand reaches forward and down. Left arm reaches forward and down, that's 9. Right arm reaches forward and down. Left arm reaches forward and down, 8. Right arm and left arm, 7. Core is strong, hips are not swaying. Right arm and left arm, 6. Right arm and left arm, 7. Or sorry, 5. Right arm and left arm, 5. Right arm and left arm, 4. Right arm, left arm, 3. Right arm, left arm, 2. Last one, right arm and the left arm. Come back to plank, knees come down. Take a little breath. I might have made you do an extra one there. Counting and alternating, very difficult. All right. Let's take a nice deep inhale here. Open your mouth, sigh it out. And we're gonna come all the way onto our back for hollow body. So just work your way onto your back, on your mat. Enjoy this rest for like 2 milliseconds. And then we're gonna bring our hands onto our lower belly, just below our belly button. So press your lower back into the mat and feel your lower abdomen engage. Now hold that. To make this pose a little bit easier, you can keep your hands down by your side. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can bring them directly overhead. So mentally figure out which one you're gonna do, but bring your hands back to your lower belly and find that engagement. Now, we're gonna lift our chest up enough so that our shoulder blades come off the mat. Again, maintaining that engagement in the lower belly so that the lower back doesn't pop up off the mat. And then we're gonna bring right leg up and left leg up. And we're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. And go. Again, hands are by your side if you want a little bit easier of a version of hollow body. Arms are up overhead if you'd like a little bit more of a challenge. But either way, belly is strong and pushing the lower back into the mat. 10 more seconds, less than 10 seconds. Hold it. And release. All right, take a deep inhale on your back here. And open the mouth side out. All right, come on up and make your way towards hands and knees. For quadruped, we're gonna work on our final pose, that bird dog plank variation. So at this point, our shoulder girdle should be nice and strong. Our core is nice and strong and warmed up. We've challenged our balance a little bit in the previous poses, so we should be ready to go for this pose. Now again, for this pose, it's gonna start off just like a normal bird. So left arm's gonna reach forward, right leg shoots back, thumb is reaching up towards the sky, leg and arm are parallel with the mat. Now, what's different is you're gonna bring, instead of curling in for a normal dog, we're gonna bring our left hand back to the mat, right toes are gonna curl under, and we're gonna lift up and reach our right arm forward, left leg back in balance. And then we're gonna come back, left knee comes back down, and bird. All right, so we're gonna move through that kind of flow 10 times. So really just focus on the movement and finding a nice flow as you move back and forth through these positions. All right, so do this on your own time. I'll let you know when I'm done with my 10 and you can either count yourself or just end when I end. All right, so inhale, reach long, bird. Exhale, dog plank. Inhale, bird, extend, dog plank, reach. 7 more, inhaling and exhaling. So we shift through these poses, engage the core. We're not swaying the hips. 4 more for me. One more. All right, so come back to all fours, neutral spine. Great. We're just going to do that on the other side, and then we're all done. So check your balance, or check your posture in quadruped. Wrists are stacked under the shoulders, knees are stacked under the hips. And then bird, right arm reaches forward, left leg shoots back. Exhale, left toes. Sorry, I had to think about that one for a second. All right, so right arm is forward, left leg is back. And then right arm comes down, left toes curl, dog plank. 9 more. Right arm reaches forward, left leg reaches back. Right arm, right hand to the mat. Left toes curl under and reach. And move through that flow. Inhaling and bird. Exhaling in your dog plank. Breathing. In, out. About 4 more. Last one. And come back to quadruped. Reach your sit bones back into hero pose. Congratulations. Day 1 is done. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you tomorrow.